Hello and welcome to Home vs. House. I'm Lisa and I'm back with another video, guys. So I did some update to my backyard garden, and today I just want to do a walkthrough on what that looks like, the progress so far, and also what I have growing in my backyard garden. So guys, I am starting off on my back porch, and I am walking down the stairs to my backyard garden. So here it is. So here's what my back porch looks like. It's pretty minimal back here. I did bring out my my aloe vera plant from indoors to get some summer sun. All right, so let's walk on down the stairs. This is what it looks like from a top view, and some of the things that I've done so far. From my last video to now, this entrance looks a lot different. Before, I had an arch at the entrance, and I had some clematis growing up on each side. I used garden fence for that. I took that down and put up an arbor instead, a wooden arbor. And so I constructed this over the last week. I felt better, or I feel better about this. First of all, I had to move my clematis. It was getting a lot of sun. I had to do some research on how to keep it alive, and I've moved it in another area of this garden, and I'll show you here soon. And that kind of started the transformation, because the whole reason I had the arch up there was for the clematis. And so again, I've constructed this arbor. On the very top, I have some sun-loving perennials. The plan is to develop up here a lot more. Not sure if I'll get to it this summer, but I've gotten it started. And so I am thinking about adding some more plants up here. I also moved my metal birds to the top. I added some decor pieces up here as well, things that I already had in my stash, and I'm still combing through my stash to find some things to add here. Up over here, I added some broken jewelry pieces on either end. I also added this hanging vase that I use on my inside for quite some time, and I took it down and added it here. Let's open up the gate and walk in. And so as you walk in, I still have my wooden path here. I still have some work to do. I need to add a piece going across here to secure these panels. But that's some work to come. Over here in my garden room, I did swap out this seating. So I had two outdoor chairs out here. First, I picked up this side table, it was metal and wood side table from Habitat for Humanity, and I really picked it up for the metal bottom. It's got some storage at the bottom, and then I took off the wooden part and I added some wood that I already had to create this bench. And I like it a lot better. I do want to get some armrests for either side. So that's going to be a DIY project. I'm sourcing some metal or wood. So that's to come, but that's what that looks like so far. And so I really like that arrangement a lot better because I feel like you can get more comfortable on the bench. And I like that it's got some height to it, not only for the storage, but I've got some long legs and sitting lower down is a little bit more uncomfortable for me. So sitting up high works a lot better. My hydrangea is doing well. This one a lot better than this one here. I'm not sure I'm going to get any flowers from it this year, but I like the greenery and the large leaf foliage that is on it presently. I recently planted these. I transplanted these actually. I'm not sure what the plant is. I started it from seeds, but I transplanted it here a couple of days ago. Over here, I just have another seating arrangement. So this piece was an upcycled piece that I did a few years ago. So I got this thrifted chair for maybe about $2 or so, and the seat was rotted out. So I took out the seat and I added this cutting board here that was also thrifted, and I painted it up. I added some annuals on either end, and then I have my spider plant from indoors. I bought it out some months ago, a little bit too early, and it got some frostbite, so I cut it off and I see some new spikes. So we'll see how it does for the rest of the summer. These two thrifted jewel pieces I added on either end, and then I just have this tile that was also thrifted. I added it up here as a coaster. Alongside my arbor, I have some sedum. I don't remember what this plant is called, but it's a perennial, and it was on clearance at my local hardware store, and I picked it up and planted it here recently just to add some white to the space. And then up along on the outside, I added these thrifted metal pieces that I already had in my stash. Guys, I'm definitely shopping my stash, if I hadn't said that before, for decor items here. And I'm loving what I'm finding. I may not keep this this way, but I'm just bringing out the pieces that I have and placing it in different areas here to see what I like, and we'll see what the final product looks like. On either side, I also added these two metal sconces. I may get some thrifted candles. I thought I had some in my stash, but I haven't found them just yet. So we'll see. If not, those might be easy items to pick up at the thrift store later on. I'm gonna go down in this corner here. So on the other side, I have some sedum as well, some more plants. Yesterday I got some sunflower plants from up front, so they just went to seeds from previous year, and I transplanted it here. It's wilted a bit. I just rooted it up from the ground. It actually was grown in the cracks of some cement, so there wasn't much dirt. I pulled it up and I put it back here. I am not sure it's gonna survive, but we'll see. Then I have this cucumber plant growing up here that is going to grow up along the sides. And then here I added 2 pieces of thrifted metal pieces. If we keep moving down, in this corner I have my Japanese spirea plant that the butterflies and the bees are really loving. In this pot I have chamomile growing, which I do use the leaves as tea as well. That's part of my evening routine. I'll make some tea, chamomile tea, mixed with some other herbs. Over in this pot I have bee balm growing. This one is some stevia. I did add this thrifted metal piece here recently. This was in my stash and I just painted it over this brown paint that I also had in my stash. In this pot I have some peppermint growing. This pot over here, let's see, not sure what's growing here, but they were some seeds that I got that I just threw in there, and I don't remember what the packet said, but it may be an annual. Over here I have basil in this pot right here. And then I have some hanging annuals in these 2 baskets. Over here I have this indoor plant in this pot. And then down below I have my 2 boxwood. And guys, this is where I put the clematis plant for now. It does get sun out here, but it's not as sunny. I did do a little bit of research and it says it likes the roots cooler. So down here I think it may work, but we'll have to see the progress. And here I have some cilantro that I cut back. I harvested actually recently. Over here is my potting table, so it's just a mess back here. It's also my catch-all area down underneath, as well as the top. So maybe as the summer progresses, I'll do some organization in this corner a little bit more, but we'll have to see. I have another seating area here, and then alongside the fence I have some bearded iris growing. Over in this tire planter I have some lamient plant growing. In this patch right here I have an assortment of things. So I have an okra growing here, some more bearded iris, I have strawberries in this patch growing. I have a marigold over here, and it's also some weeds as well. Alongside this fence, I have a combination of bearded iris, daylily, and shrimp plant growing along here. Guys, here's my bird bath project that I still haven't done a whole lot other than to lay this tray out here. I am planning on spray painting it, maybe a rustic gold, but we'll see. I have another seating area here, and my spider plant that this is another one that I got out here too early some months ago when it was still pretty cold, and this is what has become of it so far. Over here I have a collection of 3 evergreen. So I bought these up from my front yard couple of years. This one a few years ago for sure. This was the first one, and then last year I bought this one up and the other one on the other side. I'll show you that here in a bit. Guys, this garden bed, there's a collection of things. There is some marigold growing. There's green onions growing that I've harvested. There's also some cabbage growing here. And then I see this cucumber plant that came up from last year growing. Alongside here, I also have some green beans. So a collection of things here for sure. Let's keep going. I also recently added these pieces of wood. So these were the leftover from building the arbor, and I just have it as a stepping path. So as we keep moving up, right as you come off the entrance to the arbor, I have this small garden bed with a collection of things. I have cabbage, mainly cabbage growing here. There's a marigold, and then there's 2 kale plants from last fall that I'm still harvesting, guys. So I was out here yesterday getting some of the leaves for a kale salad. In this patch right here, I have some echinacea or some coneflower that is about to bloom here. Some beautiful yellow blooms. And then alongside it, I have some black-eyed Susan growing in this patch. And guys, this came from seeds some years ago, probably 3 years ago. I got some seeds from my local library, and I planted it here, and this is what it has become. I also have a bearded iris, and then I moved this begonia pot here, and then I added a thrifted piece as well. Come back over here. So in this vertical piece, I have down at the very bottom some lavender growing. Up here I have oregano, and then this is a sage plant on the top. And guys, I have harvested both the lavender and the oregano for cooking and for tea, and the lavender for evening tea. In this cinder block patch, I have a collection of things growing. This was self-seeded from last year. And then in the middle, I have some bearded iris. In this pot, I have a mini rose plant growing. And I recently saw that a tiny bird has made this also its home. So glad to know that this is serving a multi-purpose function. In the cinder blocks also, I have some green onions. And then this dill plant came back from last year. It was self-seeded from last year. I have 2, I believe, I thought it was watermelon, but I think it's cantaloupe plants. Not sure it's gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna get any fruits for the summer, but we'll see. I planted it from seeds some weeks ago. And then alongside this fence, I have bearded iris growing. On the fence itself, I have some honeysuckle vine growing that bloomed quite a bit some weeks ago. Over here, I have a 2 forsythia stems growing, and I planted those a few weeks ago. And then in that pot over here, I have rosemary. This garden bed is also a collection of things growing here. I have green beans growing on the side of the trellis. I also had broccoli from the fall that I'm letting go to self-seed. We'll see what happens. I have some cabbage growing here as well, and collard greens I had here from the fall that I've harvested some as well. And then up on the trellis, I just have these thrifted decor pieces just to add a pop of color to this space. Over here, I have two lilac bush that I planted about 2 years ago. And over here is some blueberry. One blueberry plant that survived. There was 2 planted here, 1 survived. Not sure. I'm probably not going to get any blueberries this year, but I need to plant another one so I can maybe get some blueberries next year. Over alongside this garden bed, I mostly have sweet peas growing that I've harvested some, and I still have some more harvesting to do. And then down below I have cabbage, green onions is back here as well. Up over here I planted these 2 Weigela branches a few weeks ago, and it did actually bloom some. A pretty like pale pink blue. Also in this patch I have some bearded iris and just some thrifted decor pieces. I have some ground covers here mixed in with some weeds. And then foxgloves that I planted from seeds about 3 years ago, and they have self-seeded some. I also see some baby ones growing here that self-seeded from last year, so I'm excited to have those. So alongside here, I have on the outside of the garden gate, I moved some cucumbers recently back here, and then I have some bearded iris alongside the fence on the outside as well. On the inside, I have a collection of things, guys. I have some sweet corn growing, carrots growing. I have these are potatoes that I am growing for the first time. Guys, I just got potatoes from my local grocer, and I cut them a few pieces, and I stuck them in the ground to see if they will grow, and guys, lo and behold, they are growing. I also did the same with some Asian sweet potatoes, and they're growing as well too, so I'll show you here coming up. Before though, here is an eggplant that I have in this pot. I did transplant some butterfly bushes, 2 butterfly bushes back here. This one's doing well. This one over here, not so much. It was doing well, and then I had some flooding back here that went along down this slope, and I think it got some of it, and so we'll see if it makes it back. And then before I forget, I do have this cucumber plant growing up here. All right, let's get back to this patch. So more carrots, and guys, these are the sweet potatoes that's been growing back here. There's a couple more here as well, so I'm excited about that. It's my first time, as I mentioned before, growing sweet potatoes, and it's just an experiment to see if it'll actually grow. And then I have in the cinder blocks, I have some lemongrass. So there's one patch, there's another patch, and then this is the third patch over here. And then I have a, this plant here is a wild rose plant that I had up front, and I brought a piece back here in this pot. Over here, guys, I had some things growing, mainly green onions, but I threw down some seeds of some other vegetables, some lettuce. I see the lettuce growing, but it also has that mixture of dandelions that I did not grow on purpose. So I have to comb through and see what's the lettuce and what's the dandelion, and root up the dandelion and keep the lettuce. I also threw down some other vegetable seeds, some okra seeds. I did throw down some tomato and peppers back here as well too. Not sure the peppers and the tomatoes are actually going to grow because this is a shaded area, but I just wanted to see what will grow and what won't back here. I have harvested the green onions quite a bit since I have planted it. This is what the view looks like from the top. And then this last area here is what I call my courtyard. And I mostly have hostas growing there. I have one back here that is getting absolutely no sun, so it's pretty tiny. This one is also pretty tiny. There are shaded plants, hostas generally are, but you can see these two smaller ones get less sunlight. In the pot, this is a DIY pot. I have some bearded iris. Alongside here, I have just some ground covers and weeds. I did move, this is where I moved the chair, these two chairs. I moved them when I did the makeshift bench that I showed earlier. I moved these two chairs back here instead. I have a fire pit going here. And then this makeshift bench, this actually was functioning some years ago, and since then, not so much. I do need to fix the legs on it, but for right now, it's a prop. And then this hosta got quite a bit of sun, as well as that one back there, and so you can see they're much larger. And then in this pot, I have some bearded iris, guys, and alongside here, I have some coneflower growing, as well as some black-eyed Susan that I just threw down some seeds last year, towards the end of last summer, and they popped up. I do have another hosta over here as well. And guys, alongside the fence, I have some more daylilies and shrimp plant growing here. And then this is just a gate into the courtyard. So guys, this concludes the walkthrough of my backyard garden and what I've done so far with it. In the coming weeks, I do want to spend some more time on this arbor, adding some decor pieces, things that I find in my stash. I really love the atmosphere back here. I come out here in the evenings, sit over here and grab some tea, water my plants, and just kind of walk through. Sometimes I do some harvesting, sometimes I do some weeding, but yeah, this is a really nice area. It's a north facing area, so it does get full sun in some areas, but I also because of the trees that's back here, it's a shaded area. So one, it's positioning the north facing, but also it's a nice combination of sun as well as shade back here. This corner is a corner that is one of my favorite, guys, because it doesn't matter how hot it is out here, it stays nice and cool. And I could really enjoy the space from here. The courtyard is also a really nice area to sit, and it adds some shade in the warmer weather as well. Guys, I am going to end the video here. Thank you so much for joining me and watching to this point. And I will continue to show you the development of this space as I add new things, as I take away new things, as things thrive, and then as things flop. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.